This episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, I sit down with one of the most underrated prospects in the 2023 NBA Draft. Weber State's Dillon Jones basically went the entire season under the radar and unnoticed. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to tell his story here on NBA Big Board. Stay tuned. Shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Rafael Barlowe, the director of scouting for NBA Big Board, and this episode is brought to you by GameTime. All you have to do is download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, in this interview, it's a one-on-one interview with Dillon Jones. Like I mentioned at the top, very under the radar, is a name that a lot of people weren't talking about all season long. And right before the G League Elite Camp, I wrote an article on NBABigBoard.com about 5 players that I was looking forward to seeing, 5 guys that I thought could get the call-up from the G League Elite Camp to the NBA Combine. And Dillon Jones is one of the names that I wrote about, and he actually kind of made me look good because he was invited to the NBA Combine. In this interview, we just discussed his background, how he got from Weber State, from South Carolina, and how he was not even known by his peers at the Combine because he was that much under the radar. And a little bit of background about Jones. He's 6'6", 235 pounds, so he's built like P.J. Tucker, but he averaged 17 points, 11 rebounds, and about 4.6 assists per game. He is the epitome of versatility. I think there's so many things that he does well on the basketball court. He is your connective tissue that knows how to get to the foul line. Like, he is one of the best foul generators, not only in college basketball, but in this draft class. And I think there is a good opportunity that we could hear Dillon's name on June 22nd in the NBA Draft. All right, here is my interview with Weber State's Dillon Jones. All right, so tell me about like your last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks for you has pretty much been life-changing in a sense.
Yeah.
Walk me through the whole process to get here, your path to the draft in a sense.
Yeah. Well, you know, like like 3 weeks ago, I was still in New Jersey working out with our trainer, with the agency. You know, just working out, getting better. Then it just picked up quick. You know, I had a workout with Brooklyn on the 8th, and I had to work out with Boston on the 11th. Then I came from Boston straight here, and I've been here from the 11th through the, going to be through the 21st. So that's kind of been like the crazy schedule that I've been on, but, got to be grateful and thankful for the opportunity. A lot of people wish they was doing it, so can't complain. But I think, that's really what my schedule has been over these past couple of weeks, and it's, been crazy to think about, hotel living, all of that stuff, but it's a blessing.
You ready to get back home?
I wouldn't say I'm ready to get back home, but I am, ready to at least touch back to Utah, which I consider as home. So, yeah, I guess I am ready to get back just to see, old faces, keep working out, and, obviously just see everybody.
So right before the G League camp, I did an article about guys that I wanted people to pay attention to and watch out for. You were one of the 5 guys. Thank you for making me look good and getting the big call up.
Yeah.
Tell me about just when you got that call from the NBA to invite you, one of the 8 guys that got invited up. What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot, and just being able to, like I tell everybody, squeeze in and get into the G League one. Just being thankful for enough to, get through all of that and be able to perform like I know how to perform and, get the call. It meant the world to me just because at that point it was like, because teams vote for it, and it's like, if teams had the nerve to get me in there, then it's like they have real interest in me, at least in something. So that's what it meant most to me about, I was just able to, kind of solidify everything that I thought I've always been good as, or as good as I thought I've been, but, it kind of solidifies it, it's not done, but, it is a good step to reach because, not a lot of people can be here, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt like outside of the guys that came from Overtime Elite, you were like the biggest unknown here. Mm-hmm. So for the coaches or scouts to vote you in, that means they've been paying attention.
Right.
Was it a situation where you felt like some of your peers didn't know who you were and you caught them by surprise?
Yeah, probably. Like we was sitting at tables and stuff, and like doing like little vision boards and stuff, and like all the players just like talking about their NIL money and all this and all what they doing. It's like you could tell I was kind of out of place just because like nobody didn't know who I was, and like I think somebody eventually asked me where I went to school, and I was like Weber State, and they was like, oh, kind of just like normal like that. But I think none of my peers really knew me, but it's all good, it's all love. Some people did, but it is what it is.
They know you now.
Right, exactly.
They know you now.
Yeah.
So Weber State, I want to touch on how you got there, because when most people think of Weber State, they think of Damian Lillard.
Right.
Do you have a relationship with Dame?
We have like a relationship just because obviously I went to his former Zero camp, and he doesn't just like claim Weber. He actually comes back and interacts with the community and the school there still. So when he comes back, we chop it a little bit. So yeah.
Has he been helpful or like lending you any advice in this process?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that Dame is kind of like he's told me a lot of things that he said publicly. Is just that like in order to be a great leader, you got to be a great servant. Things like that. Have good people around you. Those are the main things that he kind of just like tell me. Just understand that doesn't matter about where you at right now or what school you at. Like, but at the same time, everybody can't make it to the NBA. Like he says things like that. But yeah, good relationship, real authentic dude. So yeah.
Now, how in the world did you get to Weber State from South Carolina?
Yeah. Well, the story, just, going to Sunrise Christian my senior year, playing the whole year basically with no offers, and then COVID happening, Weber having a bad year, then they just start recruiting me, and like I just tell everybody, I did my research. I mean, that's how I really end up there, just through the research, and like obviously they reached out and had interest, but just to see the track record of those players that came in there and was professionals, as many as they did, it was hard for me to turn down an opportunity like that, knowing what I was trying to do. So I just think that that's how I ended up there, just because of things like that came into play.
So you said you didn't have any offers?
Well, I had offers early on, like when I was at Kenan High School, just like growing up. Mm-hmm. A lot of East Coast offers, though, obviously being from South Carolina. But then when I went to Sunrise, a lot of schools just stopped recruiting me. They stopped hitting me. And that's kind of like I basically played the whole year with no offers.
Now, who's on your team at Sunrise? I'm sure you have some talented teammates.
Kendall Brown,
okay.
Shaden Sharp was on that team, like Zach Clemens, Jaden Stone, Ty Berry, a lot of high-level players. I wasn't definitely, especially when I came in there, I wasn't like on the level of those guys. But eventually I carved the way out on that team. So,
do you feel like when you weren't getting offers, did you feel like you made a mistake?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I feel like I made a mistake. I definitely was worried though, and like my coaches can attest to it. Like because all my friends was signing in the fall, and I didn't I wasn't, because I planned to want to sign early, but it just didn't work out like that. And I was worried, and I didn't think that I made a mistake. I didn't honestly understand why I didn't have much, but I always just somehow had faith that it was going to work out in my interest, for my best interest. I had no idea how, but I just kind of just kept that like faith and just always thought it would. So,
as somebody that has been betting on myself for years, mm-hmm. I can definitely relate.
Right.
And now here it is, three years later,
yep.
You're here at the NBA Combine. So
right.
the gamble paid off.
Right.
Now, what made you decide to go to Sunrise?
Well, I had a lot of stuff going on back home. Just a lot of not like real bad things, but just just was going through a lot. Just being at living situations, things like that. I just thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to just go out there and just be in a different space. But at the same time, it was able to push me because, when you're just becoming, the best player in your state and it's just, you're just that guy, it gets stale a little bit. And I think just going there, another thing that it was going to help me do is raise my floor a little bit. I was going to have to reach a certain set of expectations different than I've ever had in my career. And I thought in order to really push a career in basketball, I thought that was really needed of me and needed important, so that I can transition to college easier because I just didn't feel like I was exposed to it yet. So that all of those things kind of factored into me going, and I just thought it was the best decision for me, and it ended up being basically one of the best decisions I made for my career, honestly. So
I have more from Dillon Jones in a second, but I want to talk to you about GameTime, because buying tickets to your favorite events they shouldn't be stressful. GameTime is the fast and the easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets and the best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped up for the fun that you will have. GameTime has flash deals on last-minute tickets. They are easy to find and easy to buy for every kind of event in your area. You get images of the seats. They have a low price, the lowest price guarantee. They have event cancellation protection and even job loss protection. So you don't have to plan months in advance. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Again, exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy shows, movies, and more. And GameTime has a guarantee, which means you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. And you get your images of your seats before you buy, so you know exactly what to get when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps on the phone, and you're set. And the tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you don't have to dig through your email. I know, I hate that. I absolutely hate having to go through my email. Sometimes it's in the spam, but GameTime makes it easy. And all you have to do is download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, all you have to do is create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. And I have one more interview set up. It is with Dayton's Toumani Camara. Camara has a unique story in his own. Came from Belgium, went from Belgium to Miami to Georgia to Dayton, and we sat and did this interview also at the NBA Combine. He's another person that I thought really impressed last week at the NBA Combine. So stay tuned tomorrow as I have an interview with Toumani Camara. All right, more from Dillon Jones. What's going on in the water in South Carolina? Y'all got some talent out there. It's like Ja and Zion, that class kind of started, made people pay attention. Yeah. But I mean, how many guys from South Carolina were here at the Combine? You, Gigi?
Yeah, me, Gigi, Julian Phillips, PJ Hall, Jason Gortman, Jalen Slauson, Noah Clowney, Josiah Jordan James is in the G League one. Like, we had a bunch of guys here this week.
Yeah, that's a lot from South Carolina. Yeah. I feel like South Carolina is definitely underrated.
Right.
When you're talking about basketball, it's like, you know about basketball in Georgia, you know about it in North Carolina, but right in the middle is South Carolina, which has had the top 2 picks in the draft.
Yeah, right.
All right, so you're known for your versatility. Mm-hmm. Right, you can do a lot of different things on the court. Where did that come from?
I think it came from just watching my brother so many years. Like, my brother's like a 5'11" point guard, and I just came like up watching him and seeing him, like, you know, set the table for everybody, you know, make plays for everybody. He was a pass-first guard at the time. So he just kind of was like that guy that just did all the little things and, you know, set the table for everybody. You know, they foul him at the end, he get his 10 points. Like, kind of just that. I kind of learned how to control games like that. And at the same time, when he went to college his freshman year, he played with a player named Alonzo Coleman. And he was like a 6'7", like 4-man, but like he was the first guy I ever seen, like, in my life, like, rebound and push the ball. Like, I didn't never see that before. And I kind of, like, obviously watching him play a lot, I kind of took a lot of things that he did. He was real versatile, but at the time it was like 2011, 2012, and you didn't really see many players do that often. And I think that I, like, kind of took a lot of things from him as well. Like, he was pushing the ball on the break and, like, rebounding and going, and it was like, you know, I kind of took things from his game too, honestly. So.
Yeah, there's a debate, like, what is the skill set that you can hang your hat on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he rebounds. Would you average like 10 rebounds
11.
A game?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you good.
Was it like 10.8 or something like that?
10.9.
10.9, 11. I give you 11. So some teams may say, like, he can be a rebounder. Then, in my opinion, it's the passing.
Yeah.
I think that is your greatest strength and the value that you can bring to a team. If I'm a GM and I ask you, how can you help my team win, what would be your answer?
I would say I can help your team win by, bringing a toughness to the team that, not a lot of people can do. I know a lot of people love to say in the interviews like, oh, I'm a dog, and all that stuff. But, I just actually bring a different dynamic of toughness to a team. I think in order to win, you need that in today's basketball. I think that's what I could help a team win and bring with. Obviously, like my IQ would stand out. I would know just about everything on the court before it happens. Obviously, versatility would help and all of that stuff. But I think like I would be able to help a team from day one is with my toughness and my IQ for the game. And I think today's NBA, you got to have things like that. So
one of the things that stood out to me about your game is your ability to draw fouls.
yeah,
That's a skill set in itself. There's a lot of guys that can score, and usually the last development of them being a complete scorer is drawing fouls.
yeah,
And for you, I think you're great at drawing fouls, like 6 a game. I think the next development for you is being a consistent three-point shooter.
yeah.
But I thought you showed that you've improved a lot with your shooting in your pro day. So what have you been working on? I mean, obviously you've been working on your shot, but like, what have you been doing to become a much better shooter over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, and I think it goes from like honestly a lot of film room things, watching things in the film room, and like seeing how I'm missing, And I think when I went back to Aaron and the agency and everybody, like they was saying like 85-80% of my misses was short, So like working on that, just like actually finding solutions and figuring out like why am I shooting this low of a percentage and stuff, like actually digging in and figuring it out. I think things like that, like figuring out things like that, like I was missing short a lot and like how to, shoot it more one motion and but at the same time, just trusting the process and trusting the reps because like, it's not going to be like a one-day thing. I've only done nothing but improve every year as a shooter, so I can't just let one, I guess, bad percentage year derail me. I have the confidence that I'm a good shooter. So I think that's what I've been kind of working on when it comes to the shot. It's just, quicker release. Just keep working on that. And also, like I just said, just keep figuring it out. What was it or how was I missing? Break it down, like literally to the small details. Maybe my base and balance. Maybe like why am I missing short so much? And just like literally break it all the way down. So.
Were you pleased with your shooting at the pro day?
Yeah, I think I was. I think I could have shot it better, but I've been going since, literally the 11th. Everybody here has played 2 games, but I played 4. And I think towards the end, I definitely ran out a little bit of gas, a little bit, just being honest. But I thought I did shoot the ball well. And I think, I'm a hard critic of myself, so I just think I can always shoot it better. But I did shoot it well, though. I think that, I maybe surprised teams with it, but I honestly think that I could have shot it better, in all honesty. So.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you could shoot. I mean, I'm friends with your agents, and I know all the work they do. They got the guys that they call the nerds that do all the stuff.
Yeah.
And so I knew that you could shoot, but I thought you shot it well.
Yeah.
Were you, maybe nervous isn't the best word to use, but did you feel pressure basically working out, even though you were in a group with 3 other guys, working out in front of hundreds of scouts and executives?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I felt nervous. I done played in all kind of big games and all this stuff, so I don't think I was nervous, but I would say that like it's definitely like you definitely know in the back of your head like this is especially for somebody like me where like all these people got all these question marks about it. I knew that I had to like not put on a good performance, but I knew that I had to at least answer the bell. You know what I mean? And I don't think that produces nerves, so to speak, but I think I did have that in the back of my head, knowing that I have to show people this. But at the same time, trusting because I know I can do it. I've done it. I just we treated it, honestly, our pro day was like basically just a workout in a way. So I think just all of that helped me do it.
So what's a typical, well, I would say what's a typical day like for you, but the last 11 days or whatever has been different. When you were in New Jersey, what were you doing on a typical day?
So we was getting up in New Jersey, we was getting up at like 8, going to the gym, shooting or whatever it might be. We were on the court regardless. Then after that, we'll go right and lift right after that at maybe 11, 12, depending on how quick we get done in the gym. We'll go lift, then we'll take a little break, eat and all that stuff, rest, and then we'll go again at like 7 or 8, and then we'll shoot more. Then it's like you get done like 9:30ish, then you start it back over again the next day, and you just keep doing it. Good experience.
Yeah, I've spent the day, maybe 2 or 3 days out there last year.
Yeah.
I know they put in work.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the combine.
Mm-hmm.
How many interviews did you have?
So I did about 15 interviews, 14 to 15.
15 interviews?
Yeah.
And just this week, or over how many days?
This week, because I did, Brooklyn and Boston was before the combine, so yeah.
What's like the craziest question the team has asked you?
Like how many basketballs can fit in this room or something like that. Yeah, like some people were surprised by
like what is the purpose of that?
I have no idea. I think it was just to break the ice a little bit. One team actually tested me, like I came in a room and shook everybody's hand. Then like when we sat down, it was like, "What's his name?"
Oh.
I thought that was pretty cool, just because I didn't know it honestly, but I thought it was pretty cool though.
Oh wow.
He got me with it, and then they had to go back around the room, and then but it was pretty funny though.
So 15 teams, are you like answering the same questions over and over and over again?
At least, for me, because it's like a lot of teams was getting to know me. Like a lot of teams didn't know who I was, so they've probably interviewed all these other players multiple times and stuff, but they was literally just had to get a feel for me just because they never heard from me. So I think, I answered a lot of questions, about my background and history and like how I got started in basketball and stuff. But some of the same questions, some of them was different.
Who wants to become a millionaire? Yes, you can become a millionaire. That's because PrizePicks has a $1 million daily Superflex promotion for the NBA Finals and playoffs. Well, we only have one more game left of the NBA Finals before we get to the playoffs. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for sweeping the Los Angeles Lakers. So every day of the NBA Finals, one PrizePicks user will get a chance at becoming a millionaire. So why not you? All you have to do is place an entry after 8 a.m. Eastern, and you will be randomly selected each day, where a person will be randomly selected each day. Maybe I'm speaking in advance about you, but someone will be randomly selected each day, and whoever placed that entry will be given a 6-pick flex with the following payouts. If you get all 6 correct, $1 million. If you get 5 correct, $80,000. 4 correct, $16,000. Now the full details can be found at prizepicks.com/million. But you must opt in at this link to be eligible for the $1 million entry. Once you opt in, all you have to do is play the game like normal, and you could be the lucky winner of $1 million. Now, all you have to do is just pick 2 to 6 players, and if they would go score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. There is no competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. And PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch, from NBA to NFL, Major League Baseball, PGA, men's and women's college sports, soccer, WNBA, cricket, boxing, and more. And your entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. It is safe. You get your money out fast. And it is currently operational in 30 states and Canada. So download the GameTime app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. If you are a first-time user, you can get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. So do not forget to enter the promo code Locked On at sign up for instant deposit match up to $100. All right, last question. What goes on behind the scenes at the combine that people don't know about? Like I know earlier today you told me you did absolutely nothing today.
Yeah. I think I would say, like, leading up to playing is like all these tests and stuff, and then after you play, basically what I'm going through now is like you got to do all this medical stuff, and it's like we can't leave. Like we our last game was Thursday, which was yesterday. We got the day tomorrow and Sunday to do all medical stuff, whatever it might be that they might need from us. We got to stay here the whole time until we're done with it. So it's like you would think you would go home after like the 19th or whenever we play, but you got to stay here all the way to the 21st.
Yeah, I was looking at the dates, and it was like,
yeah,
I think 15th through 21st.
Yeah.
And then I get the schedule, I'm like, the games is over
Yeah,
Friday.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
and then I think this year's different. Last year they had pro days on the Saturday.
Okay.
So some people stayed.
Yeah.
But now it's like the only people here are
The
players and who's ever, I guess maybe teams are still doing some interviews.
I'm not sure because I haven't had any interviews lined up, so I don't know. I was literally gonna ask you. Do you think teams are still here? Obviously because pro days just finished, so they just still here. But
I mean, they may. Well, probably. There's maybe some tomorrow. I know.
yeah,
There's like some pro days out in LA that everybody has to go to.
yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up with this.
Okay.
Let's say June 22nd, you hear your name called. What would that mean to you and your family?
It'll mean the world to me. I think that, going through everything that I've been through, just being, going to practices as a little kid and, having to find a ride, walking to the gym, playing outside on the court, doing all this crazy stuff just to be like, oh, we're working hard to get there. And it's like, for that moment to actually happen, it probably would be the most surreal moment probably in my life, but it also feel like the biggest boulder lifted off my back, because my whole life has been kind of consumed with basketball, and that's been the ultimate goal to accomplish that, you know what I mean? So in order to have that happen, my life would change, and I think not even from what all the stuff basketball would do for me, but I think my whole perspective on life would just change, and I just know I would feel so much relief just from finally accomplishing the goal that I've worked so hard for. So that's how I would feel personally.
Once again, big shout out to each and every person that has made this Locked On NBA Big Board podcast your first listen of the day. Big shout out to Dillon Jones for taking time in his NBA Combine schedule to sit down and do this interview. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you really had a chance to just listen in on one of the most underrated prospects in this class. Now tomorrow, Toumani Camara from Dayton comes on and he shares his story about his path to the NBA draft, which started in Belgium. And right now, he is on the NBA workout circuit. He just worked out for Portland on yesterday, and we'll give you a little bit more. So once again, it's Rafael Barlowe, Locked On NBA Big Board podcast, and I am out.